A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Syria and Turkey this morning, killing more than 2,800 people. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Jania Newsom.
And I'm Michaela Russell. We start this program with breaking news. University Police Department concluded its investigation in response to the unconfirmed bomb threat.
They have issued an all clear, and all areas of campus have returned to normal operations.
A former Oxford podiatrist has pleaded guilty for fraud in his private practice clinic and pharmacy. Dr. Marion Sean Lund was said to unnecessarily prescribe foot bath antibiotics for every patient, regardless of the need for these medications. He did this in order to get the most out of healthcare benefit programs like Medicare and TRICARE. Lund also ordered lab testing on toenail clippings and wound cultures that were not medically necessary. He submitted over $1.4 million in claims from April of 2020 to March of 2022, resulting in over $700,000 in reimbursements. Lund has pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy on committing health care fraud and faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. He is scheduled to be sentenced May 15, 2023. An Amory man pleaded guilty to a federal drug charge ahead of his trial. Oxford police arrested this man, Michael Wright. Federal prosecutors say Wright possessed and intended to distribute methamphetamine back in December 2020. He pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in Oxford on Thursday, just days before his trial that was set for today. Wright faces up to life in federal prison.
A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake killing more than 2,800 people after striking before dawn Monday in Turkey and Syria. The quake leveling buildings and leaving devastating aftermath. Isabel Rosales reports on the precarious search for survivors and the one factor making that search all the more dangerous. But first, a warning. Some of these images are graphic and may be hard to watch.
From under the dust and rubble, a small hand reaches out. Volunteer white helmet rescuers pulling out a Syrian boy from the debris, alive. But their frantic search for life is not enough.
We need help, we need support, immediate support from anyone who can support us.
The catastrophic 7.8 magnitude earthquake collapsing buildings as people slept in bed. The U.S. Geological Survey predicts the death toll could rise by the thousands based on the location of the quake in Turkey and Syria. It's one of the strongest to hit the region since 1939.
We're not ready to deal with something like this. It's bigger than us and bigger than any NGO operating in northwest Syria to handle this disaster.
Survivors unable to go home, taking shelter wherever they can find, even in cars.
If you want to say hello to my kids.
But strong aftershocks complicating the search for those trapped, the biggest of them measuring a powerful 7.5 magnitude. International help is on the way. Several countries are donating money, equipment, and manpower as rescuers dig for any signs of life. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
In northern Mississippi are still dealing with the aftermath of last week's ice storm. Residents of Holly Springs are now on day 6 of no power. State officials say 48,000 residents' utilities were impacted across Mississippi. The majority of them were in Marshall County, where Holly Springs is located. With thousands of residents still without power as of Sunday, the demand for food has increased, prompting a local church to act and give out free meals. State officials say they are unsure of when exactly the power would be restored.
A new accountancy building is coming to campus, and a young alumna gives back as a way of saying thank you. Stephanie Jennings Teague of Chicago gave $100,000 to the Patterson School of Accounting's new building as a token of gratitude to the university. She hopes that her donation will have lasting effects on the students in the program. The proposed $75 million building will be composed of 110,000 square feet of auditoriums, classrooms, study spaces, and conference rooms. The building will be 4 floors and will overlook the Grove. This plan hopes to take our nationally ranked accountancy program to the next level in hopes of drawing more attention to the program and providing students a place to gather and create community. There's a new tool out there to help students. It helps write full essays and even answer complicated questions. NewsWatch reporter Katie Simmons spoke to Ole Miss professors on how this tool will change the way students learn in the classroom.
English professors Robert Cummings and Mark Watkins organized a meeting on campus today to discuss ChatGPT and its implications on student learning.
ChatGPT is a tool. It's a tool that can support development of ideas. It can produce writing.
ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence program that was launched in late last year with the ability to write essays and arguments. While its release caused some concerns about students cheating, English professor Sarah Campbell says ChatGPT is a tool that helps students write, but they cannot rely on it alone.
That it is technically astute and it is utterly uninspired.
Cummings says teachers should embrace it and let the students use it.
Well, first, what I would invite them to do is explore it, play with it, get used to it if you can, get familiar with it. I think you'll quickly find that it's not reliable.
The university has yet to establish a policy in regards to ChatGPT, so many teachers are having to handle this issue themselves. Though professors are encouraging students to explore ChatGPT and all it offers, there is currently an AI task force in development for the improper use of artificial intelligence and its development in the future. I'm Katie Simmons, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
We have video of what could be debris from the Chinese spy balloon shot down Saturday off South Carolina. A man in North Myrtle Beach took this video at a boat landing Sunday afternoon. You can see something white on the small boat and people wearing camouflage waiting on the dock. The man who took the video says he saw Navy trucks parked there. Officials say the balloon debris will be taken to an FBI lab for analysis. Now, it is not confirmed whether this is debris from the balloon. A local farm here in Lafayette County received its medical cannabis cultivation license in August, and they wasted no time getting their new facility up and running. Good Day Farm is currently growing about 55 different strains of cannabis. They are getting ready to create what they believe to be the first cannabis gummies in the state. They will eventually produce chocolate too. This allows patients to receive the medical benefits they need without actually smoking the cannabis. Up next, we have a special guest joining us to talk about her life as a female athlete.
You won't want to miss it. We've got these stories and more this evening on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When you have a hole in your neck, don't face the shower head.
Suction out your tube before you eat.
Crouch. Don't bend over. You don't want to lose the food in your stomach. Don't use spray paint.
Be very careful shaving.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step.
I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Every week here at NewsWatch, we will be holding a segment we like to call 4 Good Minutes.
And this week, we will be spending those 4 good minutes with Ole Miss senior soccer player Sydney Ash. NewsWatch's Phoebe Kramer is here to speak to her about what it's like to be a woman in sports.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. I'm Phoebe Kramer, and today I brought a guest from the Ole Miss soccer team, Sydney Ash. Welcome, Sydney.
Thank you, Phoebe.
So tell us about your sport, soccer, and how you got into it.
Okay, so I started playing when I was really, really young. It's the usual, like your parents want you to experiment with a bunch of sports. They throw you into swimming, soccer, let's try out basketball. So me and my brother and sister all played when we were probably at the age of 5. And then I think people either fizzle out of playing a sport or learn to love it and keep playing. And for me, every other sport that I played fizzled out, and I love soccer. Like, I formed a connection with it and I just ran with it. And 18 years later, I'm still here playing, which is pretty awesome.
And what inspired you to go college level?
So at first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play in college. And the first time I knew for sure that I did was in middle school. My coach talked to our whole team and was like, listen, we're gonna go to some tournaments and see what happens. Like, it's an awesome opportunity. Like, it's not for everyone, but you'll know if it is for you. And when I went to these tournaments and some coaches started reaching out, I got really excited, and I knew that the opportunity to play the sport I loved for another 4 years was something I couldn't pass up.
And what made you want to bring your career to Ole Miss being on the women's soccer team?
Well, that's actually a funny story. I didn't start at Ole Miss. I started at Virginia Tech. I committed there my sophomore year of high school, and it's about 4 hours from my home, so I kind of thought that's what I wanted, to be home. My parents could come to all my games, but then I got there and it was COVID year, and that kind of played with my first year and made the experience not everything I was hoping for. And my sister actually went to Ole Miss, and I grew up coming here and going to the Grove and going and hanging out with her and her friends, and I loved the atmosphere and the environment down here, and not to mention the sports teams are unbelievable with unbelievable coaches. So when I got the opportunity to transfer here, I could not pass it up.
And as you know, being a student athlete, you have such a demanding schedule from your social life, in practice, and school. How do you time manage?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it took some adjusting. My first semester of college was really, really hard because I was used to in high school kind of getting up, doing my own thing, and going to school and then a practice, but at the college level, you are on your own and you're managing it yourself. You have a 4-hour time block for soccer, and that's for practices, not mentioning the 3 days a week that we travel for games on planes and we're not on campus at all, and not to mention the classes you have to take. And obviously every major has specific classes you need, and those teachers aren't always accommodating of your practice schedule, obviously. So kind of figuring out, like, okay, if my practice block is from 11 to 2, I got to take an 8 a.m. here, and I got to hustle from this to that, which was hard. And going from practice, I remember I will be sweating, and I'll have to just run to one of my classes if I'm about to be late. So learning to do that and communicating with teachers about missing class, missing tests, making it up, it's hard, but I mean, it kind of taught me how to manage my time better, which was cool.
And as you know, February 1st is the Girls and Women's National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. Right. And what does that day mean to you?
I mean, it is so special, and I think it's so special for all women in sports because it is a male-dominated industry, if industry is the right word for it, but I mean, at the professional level and college, people only talk about the men's sports, and obviously they get a lot more fans and followers than we do, so being able to be recognized for putting in the same amount of work and time to these sports is something really special. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you for having me.
Make sure to tune back into NewsWatch. I'm Phoebe Kramer, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
A big thank you to Sydney for taking the time to join us today.
If you'd like to see the full interview, visit NewsWatch Ole Miss on YouTube. Now let's take a look at your current weather conditions.
Well, it has been an absolutely gorgeous day here in Oxford. Even with our fading sunlight, we are looking at a current temperature of 62 degrees, and for the most part, it's looking to be a great week overall, so make sure to stay tuned for your extended forecast.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you wanna talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Flashes.
What's up, champ? Feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Well, welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. My name is Seth Pranto, and this is your weekly weather forecast. Well, it has been an absolutely beautiful day here in Oxford. We are looking at, even with our dwindling light, a current temperature of 62 degrees here in Oxford. And if we take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi, you'll be seeing much of the same with temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s, with Oxford beating everyone else out at a high of 62. And as we head into this evening, things will be remaining relatively mild. We're looking at lows tonight around 50 degrees with some light winds, but nothing too major. And as we head into tomorrow, we are looking at another beautiful day with a high of 67 degrees here in Oxford with mostly cloudy skies, so it's going to be nice and beautiful with a little bit of shade. We are looking at a slight chance of precipitation at around 15%, but again, nothing too major, nothing too concerning. And if we take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi for tomorrow's highs, you'll be seeing much of the same with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s with South Haven, Holly Springs, and Oxford all remaining high at 67 degrees. And for your 5-day forecast, well, as you can see, we are looking at a beautiful start to the week here in Oxford. Temperatures will be remaining consistent in the upper 60s. Now, Wednesday might get a little bit dicey with thunderstorms and rain, so be sure to grab an umbrella or raincoat as you're heading out. But things will be remaining warm, so no risk of ice or snow like last week. Temperatures will be dipping a little bit as we head into the weekend. As you can see on Friday, we're looking at a low of 31, but by then the precipitation will have moved out. So again, there's no risk of ice or snow.
I am so glad the weather is warming up now.
Me too, me too. Ooh, finally, we need the sun.
So glad to see the sun back on campus.
Yes, well, with the weather warming up, let's take a look and see what sports has, Jay.
Well, the women's basketball team are off to an exciting start, and yesterday they did amazing in pink, beating the Gators and had a and they had an amazing win against the Gators. And in professional sports, the NBA has had an amazing trade with Kyrie Irving going from the Brooklyn Nets to the Dallas Mavericks.
It's time. Takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, Build your legacy.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hello, I'm Jay Tarofsky, and there is some exciting news with Ole Miss sports. With the men's and women's track team this week, they are both nationally ranked at the same time for the 14th time. The men's team secured a ranking of 23rd, and the women's squad stands at number 17. Two female athletes to watch out for and are big contributors to this ranking thanks to their performances in weight throw are number 1 and number 2 NCAA athletes Jelani Davis and Jasmine Mitchell. These two are also high performers in shot put. For the men's team, it seems that the freshman class is carrying this team from Tarek Robinson O'Hagan's personal record in both weight throw and shot put places him as the 8th best NCAA freshman since 2013. If you want to keep up with Ole Miss track and field, head on down to Vanderbilt for the Music City Challenge on February 10th to 11th. Bring on the love for the female basketball team this week, who won dressed in those beautiful neon pink jerseys against the Florida Gators. This is the 7th time this season that the women's had held a team to under 50 points in a game, and they did it in style, picking up more points than the Gators in every single quarter. The women's team weren't just changing jerseys for this game, but changing the record books by having the largest scoreline gap victory of 26 points in a series against the Gators. They also held them to the lowest field goal percentage over an SEC team in 20 years. The Rebels continue to dominate on the court, and Angel Baker continues her path to the 2,000-point club against Kentucky next Monday at 6 p.m. Ole Miss men's tennis had another great week, moving their record to 5-2 after beating the Tulane Green Wave right here in Oxford. Despite the bad luck in the doubles, which Tulane came out on top 2 out of 3 games, Rebels veteran Simon Junk bounced back on Sunday after defeating Billy Suarez in 2 sets, 6-4. From the veteran to the rookie, Swedish Isaac Stoneberg faced a rough first set, falling 6-1, but clearly didn't enjoy that loss as he came back and won the set 6-3 and played a perfect third set, winning it 6-0. You Ole Miss tennis fans might want to find a comfy seat, as the next game isn't until the end of this month, as the Rebels will be taking a court in a double header in Oxford against Alabama State at the end of this month. Moving away from college sports and into the big leagues, let's head over to the NBA. In the NBA, we have a major trade alert, and boy, this is a big one. Kyrie Irving is going to be leaving the Brooklyn Nets and flying American Airlines all the way to the Dallas Mavericks. This trade is full of players and draft picks, with the Nets receiving Spencer DeWindy, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a second-round pick in both 2027 and 2019, and a first-round pick in 2029. On the other side, the Dallas Mavericks will receive Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. This trade begins 2 titans of basketball with a combined point average of 57 together on the same team, and we could not be more excited to see Kyrie and Luka playing together. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Jay. Up next, a certain female artist made history last night at the Grammys.
And hint, people call her Queen Bee. Stay tuned.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Beyonce made history at the 65th Grammy Awards by winning the most Grammys in history.
Rick Damagella has more.
We are witnessing history tonight. Breaking the record for the most Grammy wins of all time.
And the Grammy goes to Beyoncé. With her win for Best Dance Electronic Music Album for Renaissance, the singer-songwriter's 32nd career Grammy surpassed classical music icon Sir George Solti for the most Grammy Award wins of all time.
I'm trying not to be too emotional. And I'm trying to just receive this night.
She came into the awards with 9 nominations, more than any other artist, winning 4.
An icon who won a Grammy earlier today, which means she's officially an EGOT, Viola Davis.
The night also crowned the latest EGOT.
That's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Jania Newsom.
And I'm Michaela Russell. Be sure to keep up with us on social media, and we will see you tomorrow night at 5.
Thank you and good night.